Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Jason Cappuccino, Sashes&Scripts, and for this episode, we will be talking about the Binibining Pilipinas girls and their beauty queen lookalikes. So, hindi kaila sa inyong lahat that over the past week, I've already posted several social media na mga posts on some of the girls, some of the Binibining Pilipinas candidates, and their katukayo and their lookalikes in terms of past and present na mga beauty queens. And I think it is fair enough to say that the Binibining Pilipinas group of candidates this year is probably one of the most underrated na mga batches ng Binibining Pilipinas batches in years. But at the same time, they are also some of the more facially gorgeous na batches in the past 5 years. So I think that this year's candidates have a lot of girls who are similar in facial structure with past and present na mga Binibining Pilipinas queens, and karamihan sa kanila have this very distinct na looks in terms of winnability. And I think the reason why kinakailangan natin pag-usapan yung mga girls na ito, it's because we all know that girls have similarities, whether it's in facial structure, whether it's in features ng kanilang mga cheekbones, ng kanilang mga bone structures sa kanilang mga faces with past winners. They tend to be the kind of girls that nabibigyan ng pansin ng mga judges or nabibigyan pansin ng mga fans when it comes to mga candidates. And I think it is also fair to say that this year maraming magaganda talaga sa Binibining Pilipinas, albeit they are not as popular as other candidates from other pageant systems who were crossovers from Binibining Pilipinas. I think that it is safe to say that because the candidates this year for BPCI, for BBP, is a little bit more on the raw side, more on the new faces na side, karamihan sa kanila hindi nabibigyan ng kaukulang popularity in terms of social media exposure, in terms of being talked about by pageant vloggers, because hindi sila ganun kapopular, hindi sila ganun ka-established. Unlike crossovers na nakapag-build na ng kanilang mga following on social media, nakapag-build ng kanilang mga followers through exposure at the Binibining Pilipinas pageant or other pageant systems, and nagawan nila ng base of fandom yung previous experiences nila at naidala nila sa MUPH, for example, or sa MWPH. So I think that this year with Binibining Pilipinas girls, there are a lot of underrated but beautiful faces, and at the same time we need to talk about these ladies because we all know that 50% of the scoring of Binibining Pilipinas is on beauty of face. So let's start first doon sa pinaka-popular or doon sa girl na kadalasan kapag pinapaskil yung kanyang face, yung kanyang itsura on social media, and kapag makita niyo siya in person, ang madalas na nababanggit sa kanya is that kamukha niya si Megan Young. And this is something that from the get-go, from the time that na-announce yung mga Binibining Pilipinas na mga official candidates in February, siya yung kauna-unahang girl among the lineup of 40 candidates that kapansin-pansin during the final callbacks. And I'm talking about Tala Jean de la Cruz, or Crystal Jean de la Cruz, who's more popularly known as Tala. A lot of people have mentioned that she actually looks like Megan Young upon seeing her up close and personal during the final callbacks. I thought that she looked also similar to the facial structure of Maureen Montaigne. So hindi kaila na among the girls, I believe that Tala is arguably the most commercial face in the batch, and it would be a sort of like a minor crime if hindi siya mapansin ng mga tao or hindi siya mabigyan ng kaukulang placement come finals night, knowing that 50% of the judging process is based on the beauty of face. So if we're going to go on that, I think it's safe to say that Tala, have a very international and a very global na beauty in her facial structure, I think that she would be a easy shoe-in sa Binibining Pilipinas finals later on this July 7th. Another girl that nabigyan namin ng kaukulang pansin throughout the Binibining Pilipinas journey is yung kapansin-pansin na similarity of face ni Vian Shireen Foist with former Binibining Pilipinas Binibining Pilipinas World in 2009, Mary Ann Umali. I think because of yung associations ni Vienne being a model as well as yung pagiging sought after na model din ni Marian Umali, doon namin nakita yung similarities nila in terms of their facial structure. The difference though is in terms of the body proportion, mas payat tignan si Vienne because her body structure is more on the thin na side, more on the very elongated yung kanyang proportions. However, when it comes to her facial structure, she looks very much similar to Marian Umali, with the exception siguro that with Vienne being younger, looking more cosmopolitan and looking more model-esque, I would say, because of her body proportions. But when it comes to her face, I think ito yung tipo ng mga mukha na hindi mo pwedeng palampasin. And I think that is an advantage definitely for Vienne. Then, another girl that has been talked about since her previous na participation in Binibining Pilipinas last year is Trisha Martinez. Trisha Martinez, as we all know, has been talked about as someone who looks, very similar to Charlene Gonzalez. However, from my end, I also see in her facial structure, yung similarities niya with a former Binibining Pilipinas international who is Margaret Ann Bayot. Maan is a semi-finalist at Miss International during her year. She has this very chinita mestiza na look. I think that this is the type of beauty na for some weird reason na-appreciate ng mga Japanese judges sa mga Pinay na mga representatives. So I think that with Trisha Martinez coming back at Binibining Pilipinas this year, I think that she has a high chance of getting noticed by the judges because they've seen already a similar face with Trisha's similarity between Charlene and Maan. And pag tinignan mo yung listahan ng mga faces that do well in Binibining Pilipinas, these are faces that are of similar facial features with past queens. Let's also talk about another candidate na madalas pag pinag-uusapan siya, a lot of people will be talking about her pasarela, her skill on the ramp, yung kanyang very model-esque na proportions, and that is Mirna Esguerra. However, not a lot of people are actually noticing or giving points or giving acknowledgement to the fact that she has similarities with the facial and bone structure with Venus Ra. This is something that I have noticed from the get-go during the final screening ng mga Binibining Pilipinas candidates sa New Frontier Theater. And doon pa lang, upon seeing her in the lineup of 40, I knew that I needed to, get a closer look at her doon sa backstage or during the exit nila doon sa New Frontier Theater. And she's one of the girls na talagang tinry ko na huliin backstage because I wasn't able to get good enough footage nung in-interview sila ng mga press people doon sa may lobby ng NFT. So nung nagsilabasan ng mga candidates, I went back doon sa exit nila. I was able to get get a quick snippet of an interview, not necessarily an interview, but rather like a get to know you na tidbit from her, and from then on, sinubaybayan ko na si Mirna because of the fact that not only does she has the body, but she also has a very interesting na Filipina na face. Bihira yung ganitong mukha na nakikita natin na sumasali sa mga pageants, who is very Filipina, but at the same time very cosmopolitan and very international yung arrive. So there is this girl na hindi kadalasan napapansin ng mga fans, but she has a very innocent, very fresh, very commercial na look na pwedeng mag-endorse ng mga FMCG na mga products. And she is, again, one of the chinita mestizas in the group, and her name is Trisha Hernandez. And what I really like about her face is that she actually has some similarities in the way that she smiles with Nicole Borromeo, our Miss International. Wait, was she third runner-up in 2023? I think she was third runner-up. And I really, I really like the way that yung resemblance niya is more on when ngumiti siya, rather than when she's doing a very sultry na face. When you look at Trisha Hernandez, she actually has some similarities again with another candidate. Her name is Althea Abanico. And there was a time na I was like sort of confused dun sa kanilang mga facial features dahil pareho silang maganda. There's a lot of girls that kinakailangan natin pag-usapan, and one of those girls that have a very beautiful na face, I think is Marikit Manawis, who is from Baguio, and she actually has similarities with the actress Marian Rivera, albeit she has a more, I don't know, more innocent and less, how do I say this before, less kontrabida na vibes, unlike Marian. I know you get what I mean. With Marikit, she has that very innocent na look upon her, and she looks like a younger sister actually of Marian Rivera. Kung pagtabihin mo yung mukha nila, because of yung dimples ni Marikit, mas nagmumukha siyang mas approachable, I believe. And I think that's one of the reasons, na ang daming mga fans that navigate towards her because of her really very gorgeous na face. Next on the list that I have is Jasmine Bungay. When I saw Jasmine Bungay, she actually only stood out for me during the Dia Ali swimwear show at the Gateway 2 at the Lagoon area. That was the first time that I really paid attention to Jasmine because she really has that Binibining Pilipinas World Gilrea Quinzon and Barbie shoe of Meteor Garden na look. When you cross the genes of the DNA of those two ladies, you probably get someone in the area ng beauty and in the area of facial features as that of Jasmine Bungay. What I really like about her is that she has a very international na look upon her, which is not surprising considering that she actually has modeled for the likes of Michael Cinco when she was working as an OFW in Dubai. So from the moment that I saw her during the swimsuit show at the Gateway Mall 2, sinubaybayan ko na siya much more closer than any other girl because I wanted to see if she has the chops when it comes to the pasarela, when it comes to presentation skills, because hindi pwedeng mukha lang yung investment sa kanya. She needed to have a stronger stage presentation, which I was really very happy to see her really shine during the press presentation with that straight long hair. I think that was her best look so far. So kung kaya niyang ikakon yung look na yun for the finals, she should do so because she has a very telenovela-ish, very K-pop, very oriental na beauty on her, and it has been very long since we had an oriental beauty crowned in Binibining Pilipinas as their main winner. I think the last oriental looking beauty that we had was Maxine Medina in 2016, and she is arguably very chinita mestiza when it comes to her beauty. Speaking of Maxine, I think we need to consider as well, the reincarnation, so to speak, of Maxine in this year's batch, and that is Samantha Victoria Acosta from Bulacan. If you look at the faces of Sam and Maxine, you can see similarities in the way that they are very both symmetrical and that they have similar facial na structure. Yung kanilang jawline as yung kanilang cheekbones halos pareho, and the way that they smile is very very similar. Siguro nagkakaiba lang sa mata kasi mas bilugan yung mata ni Sam as compared to that of Maxine. However, kung pinatan mo si Maxine and you had her eyes reshaped into an almond shape similar to that of Samantha, then you get Sam Acosta's facial features much more closer. The difference, I believe, is that because Samantha Acosta is a little bit more on the morena side, while Maxine is on the chinita na side. But if you look at their faces side to side, you would see great similarities between the two. And I think that having that kind of facial structure, parang mas may konting advantage yung mga girls that have similar facial structure with that of past winners. Now, speaking of past winners, there are also certain level of debate when it comes to Cara Villarosa on who she actually looks like. May nagsasabing Mafe Yunon, may nagsasabing Miriam Kiambao, but for me, I see a little bit more similarities with the likes of Joan Alivio, and Christine Azar, as well as a little bit of Miriam Kimbao mixed into the facial beauty of Cara. This is a good thing because dependent on the styling, yung mukha ni Cara is very versatile and might look a little bit more Joanne Alivio or a little bit more Miriam Kiambao depending on the makeup and the hair styling. So I think the fact that Cara has a very versatile, so to speak, na look, na face that can be molded into different na styling to achieve a different look. That says something about yung versatility na pwedeng ayusin, pwede siyang i-package for international competition later on. If we miss a candidate on this list, please do tell us on the comment section down below so we can discuss it further. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more pageant-related content. So, see you again in our next episode. And asahan nyo na we will be talking about the things that you didn't see during the live telecast as we will be there front and center for the finals. So, see you again in our next episode and do take care. Bye, everyone!